How's it going, guys? LinuxDaily back with the third installment of Mastering the Linux command line. This is video 3, as I just said. This is going to be about users and permissions, like file permissions and users. So, with that being said, we're going to go start up a terminal on our Ubuntu system. Alright, so I'm just going to do a cat. Actually, never mind. So currently we only have 2 users on this Linux distribution. It's root and this LinuxDaily account. So if we wanted to add some more users, we would just type in user. Well, before we add anything, I'm going to go into the manual pages. So you got a couple different options here. -D, -C, -D again, lowercase d, group ID, some of this other stuff, create home directory, create home. So yep, this is the manual pages. If you want to take a look at that on your own, be free to do so. So user add and then test user. Actually, I'm just gonna switch to root. Didn't think this one out, so I'm just gonna Alright, so we are in our root account right now. So now we could just do a cd and then a clear, so we're just in our root directory as well. So to make a user add and then test user, and then it made the test user. Now by default, if we just exit out of our root account and try to su into test user, by default it has a password, but if we hit enter, it's not going to let us log in. So in case you forget to put a password on it, it's a security feature that you won't be able to log into it. So go back to our root account. So we type in passwd, short for password, then the user account that we want to make a password for. Hit enter, and then it prompts you to put a password for that account. So I'll put in a very secure password. So if we get out of our root account and try to su into it, type in the password, we are at the prompt. Now there's no configuration for the bash shell, so all you're going to get is the $sign. Exit out of that, clear the screen. Yep, that is adding a user. Obviously there's more options. If we switch go in here, and then there is no home directory for the user because we did not put that option in. You could go ahead and type in like sudo make dir and then /home/test user. Now if you're in the test user account, I fat fingered that password, wrong account. I need to work on my typing a little bit. And then just do a cd. We are in our home directory. But there is options to make the home directory. And if we look at our man pages here, -B, the default base directory for the system, that probably isn't our thing. So -d home --home dir will most likely make a home directory for the user. If not, you can use the way that I did. You could also have a password, set it up a password with a thing as well up here. I thought I saw. Forgot where I saw that actually. Oh yeah, right here. -p makes a password in the passwd file. So we made the user and then just like test user 1. Actually, never mind. I'm just gonna not make a home directory for him at the moment. So we have test user 1 created. I'm gonna clear here. So what if we didn't want to make test user 1? We can just go ahead and type in user del and then test user 1, and of course we don't have permission to do so, so I'm just gonna do a sudo bang bang on there, sudo exclamation point, which will run the last command that we did as super user. Now when we try to do su into him, he is not here anymore. We deleted him. So that's pretty much a decent basis on creating users. Of course, you can do a lot more than what I just did. If you look at the man pages, there's also things here. Like -r will remove the home directory, but this is probably not the best option. If you running as like a sysadmin and you delete the user account, but you still need the stuff in there, don't put -r. That's kind of self-explanatory if you read the man pages. These are really useful. You just do man and the command, so like man ls. So now we're gonna switch to our root user, and we're gonna stay in the home/LinuxDaily folder. We're gonna do an ls on there. Let's touch a root file. So now we have root file. We do an ls-al and look at that root file. So we see only root owns it, and the root group as well. So if we X out of here and then you try to edit it, well, we do have sudo on here, so that's probably why it overrode it. But if you are on a normal user that does not have sudo, having that permission will not let you if you're not a sudo user. So you can just go ahead and chown. Let's take a man page edit. Changes file owner and group. So chown owner and then group :group. So if we do chown and then LinuxDaily :LinuxDaily and then root file, the new ls-al, LinuxDaily now owns the root file that we just made. This also applies to directories as well. There's also this one command called chmod or chmod, however you want to pronounce it. Clear here, and I'm gonna make a little bash script here. I'm gonna switch to my root user, and then just do like touch and then root script .sh. Then we're gonna go into it with vim and just type in like Just do that, and then I'm gonna just put $1. So now we have root script.sh. We try to run it. I actually spelled that wrong. Put too many S's in there. Now you see we have permission denied. That's because it's not executable. To make it executable, we would want to chmod, change mode, and then give ourselves the X privilege to make it executable. Then just type in root script.sh. Now when we look at it, if you look up on this one that I just highlighted, it is white, which means it's just a regular text file. If you look at this one, it's green, which means it's executable. So now we're going to run it, and then we put just my little command line argument here. It'll just print it. It works perfectly. You can do this with different things as well. You do like +X depending on what group you want to use. You can do all that. You can do -- no preserve root. This is not a good idea using that one. Or -R will go through the directory structure and affect all of those ones as well. So you can do like +X +R for read and +W for write. You can also put the group on there and apply that to the certain group. So one group could have access and one group cannot. This is pretty much all sysadmin stuff if you're going to be a systems administrator for Linux. So if we run it as this user, it works, because if we look at the permission, we all have execute because it applied the X privilege permission to all of them. Now there's ways, I'm not 100% sure, so I'm not a sysadmin for any company, but there is ways you can get it so it affects only one, but that's with the umask command, and I'm not too certain on that. So like umask, if you look at the umask, it's 22. So if we do umask like 700 and then touch a file, where did my file go? ASDF, and then look at the permissions. It has completely different permissions, read write for owner and group, I think that is, and nothing for these. But if we just set it back to what was it again, 022 0022, I fat fingered that again. I'm just making up these file names. So we run it again, and it goes to read write, read, and read. So these people can't write or execute. They can only read. So that's just a brief introduction to changing file permissions and messing with the user accounts on a Linux system. I hope you enjoyed. I'll catch you in the next one.